When did a good habit turn into a nightmare? My mother was so addicted to saving money that she calculated every penny we spent and tried to sell me to a man with the same insanely cheap mindset. When most people talk about saving money, they mean buying generic brands or using coupons. That was not my mother. She had calculated the exact cost of every action in our household and eliminated anything that wasn't absolutely essential for survival. She made me wash and hang toilet paper to dry after each use, diluted our shampoo with water until it was basically soap-flavored liquid, and genuinely believed that spending money on anything beyond rice and beans was a character flaw that would lead to financial ruin. My mother had converted our house into a laboratory for extreme frugality where every light bulb was under 10 watts, the heat was permanently turned off. She made me collect rainwater in buckets for drinking and use vinegar as deodorant because antiperspirant is a crutch that wasteful people need to feel confident. But her extreme cheapskate obsession reached its peak when she announced that keeping me fed and housed was becoming too expensive, so she was going to marry me off to men who could afford to pay the cost of my survival. She started bringing potential husbands to our house for what she called efficiency evaluations, where they would demonstrate their own extreme frugality skills. The first man lived in his car and heated food by leaving it on his dashboard in the sun. He wanted to know if I could survive on condiment packets from fast food restaurants and whether I had ever complained about sleeping in parking lots. The second man had converted a storage unit into living quarters and asked if I was comfortable bathing in public restrooms and washing my hair with dish soap. The third man bragged about making a single tube of toothpaste last 3 years by mixing it with sand, and he wanted to test my ability to identify which expired foods were still safe to eat. Each meeting became more degrading as my mother encouraged these men to share their most extreme money-saving techniques, treating my future like a business merger between two failing companies. The winner was a 42-year-old man who lived in a tent behind a gas station and claimed he hadn't spent money in 4 years because he survived entirely on samples from grocery stores and discarded food from restaurant dumpsters. My mother was thrilled because he promised to take me without requiring any dowry payment, and she started planning what she called the most cost-effective wedding in American history. So I told my school counselor that my mother was forcing me into an arranged marriage with a man who was essentially homeless and that I needed help escaping before she completed the arrangement. When social services investigated our living conditions, they discovered that I was severely malnourished, living without heat, and being denied medical care because my mother refused to pay for doctor visits. But my mother's pushback was immediate and terrifying. She kidnapped me from my temporary foster placement and drove 12 hours through the night to a compound in rural Montana where dozens of extreme cheapskate families lived in converted shipping containers. Full story link below the channel name. Thank you.